One of the things that intrigues me always is the background that people have. And you studied music and math.
Yeah.
What intrigued you about that?
Well, music and math both played a big role in developing my approach to life. So the math is obvious, numbers, analytical thinking, rational, objective. The music may not be so intuitive to people, but it's been a big influence in my life. And I write about in the book how my most important professor in school was a musician called Bill Dixon. May he rest in peace. He was a very famous jazz musician. He didn't like the word jazz. He called it black music, but we would call it jazz. And Bill taught me a lot of stuff. He taught me a lot of stuff about music. He taught me a lot of stuff about life. About music, what he taught me was you have to improvise, that nothing is a wrong note. If someone goes on
Ergo jazz.
there you go.
Yeah.
If someone goes on a wrong note, that's not a wrong note. That's the new note. And we got to move with that. We have to make that into a positive thing, not a negative thing. Don't we? And the other thing he taught me was you're not playing by yourself. You're playing in a group, in a team, with other people. And you need to be paying attention to all those people. As much as you're paying attention to yourself, you need to be completely inward and at the same time paying attention to how you're relating to your other team members, your group members. This is the same thing in business. In business, you have to pay attention to what you're in charge of, what you're doing. But you can't be just lost inside yourself. You have to be paying attention to how you're relating to other people and how they're doing and what they're doing, and all that interactivity is really important. And in life, what Bill told me, and I spent quite a few pages talking about this in the book, is there came a point in time about, 10 or so years after I'd left Bennington College, where I'd met Bill, where I had done well in business, and I had this big fancy apartment in New York, and he wanted to crash because he had a gig in New York, so I invited him to stay at my apartment.
That's a professor who really likes you.
And I loved him.
Yeah.
And he came, and I'm showing him looking out the view of the 30th floor of Olympic Tower, and I thought he was going to be really impressed. And he looked at me and he said, you're really wasting your life. You could have been a really good musician. You could have really contributed something to the world of music, and here you are chasing money, like for what? So it dawned on me that chasing money, while fun and interesting and has advantages, is not the only thing in life. There's a lot of other parts of life. So I learned a lot about music.
What do you chase then? Because obviously you've made a lot of money, so that part, if you were chasing money, that is success. How do you define success?
That's for each person. That's not.
But I'm asking you personally.
Oh, for myself.
Yeah.
For me, success is personal and it's professional. In professional, I measure it on creating great companies where lots of people succeed and many, many people make lots of money, and especially the shareholders. And if you look at each one of my companies, while they're in different industries, something's very similar about all of them.
$1 billion plus.
What's similar about all of them is the creation of dramatic shareholder value. That one share of the company at day one was worth a lot more by year 5 and year 10, and sometimes outrageously so. So if you look at XPO, the people who invested with me at the very, very beginning made 32 times their money when they sold with me last year, majority of our shares. If you look at United Rentals, people got in at $3.50 a share when I started it, and today that stock is about $435 a share, so over 100 times. So to me, success in business is many, many things, but it must include, and it's different for different people, but but it must include creating shareholder value. Other than that, you're kidding yourself. On a personal level, for me, success is creating happiness. Creating happiness for the people I love and the people I care for and the people I lead. So whether they're in my company, whether they're my family, whether they're my friends, the people I care about in life. And as I grow older, that who I care about expands.
Oh, really?
Natural.
That's interesting. I often think that sometimes it can shrink, but you're right, it can expand that desire to give back, you mean, really.
Yeah, and particularly in my life where I'm running global businesses and we're doing business in dozens of countries and traveling around a lot, I just meet a lot of people. And you see a lot of different cultures and a lot of folks.
Well,